Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, hi and welcome. And if you're a returning Titan, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me for yet another upload. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, all of that good stuff. If you do, in fact, appreciate today's case coverage, and hopefully you do. So I just wanted to cover a couple small things that I found online today that I wanted to show you before I come on live this evening. I do come live tonight at 8:15, but this was something I wanted to show you aside from that. So you guys know, if you know my channel, then you know that I've been following the IdahoFour case pretty deeply. We've been doing a lot of lives on this. We've really deep dove into a lot of different areas in this case. So with that being said, you guys know that I have in fact always thought that the killer perpetrator came in the front door and he left the front door. That's just my overall opinion, but I wanted to show you a 3D image of why I think that's the way that he came, and it'll give you a better understanding. Also, I wanted to show you the latest press release from Moscow. They did a press release on actually today. It's a 1 month later kind of press release and what they've got so far, and kind of where their investigation is going to go from here on out. So I wanted to show you that as well. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Okay, so this is going to be, I'm going to show you first the layout of the house and the 3D image. So I just want to show you here. I'm going to actually go to the first floor all the way down to the bottom. That way we can make our way up to the top together. So somebody went ahead and did this, and I think this was a great idea. It'll give us a better visual of the layout of the house. So basically this door right here is to the left is going to be the front door. You're going to head up these stairs, or you can go back to room 1A. Well, we know that in room 1A and in room 1B, there was 2 surviving roommates. So 1B and 1A had the 2 surviving roommates. We are going to go upstairs. This is going to be to the second floor landing. So back here, you can see the back slider door in the kitchen area, and bedroom 2B, where Ethan and Zaina were sleeping. If you go in through the kitchen, you'll see the other bedroom, bedroom 2A, that was vacant. If you go back over here, you can go through the hallway. Sorry, I'm going the wrong place. You can go to the hallway, you can go into the kitchen here. If you go back through the hallway to bedroom 1A, then you'll see the stairs around the corner here, right outside of bedroom 1A, and that'll take you upstairs to the 3rd floor to bedroom 3B and over to bedroom 3A. So basically the girls were found in bedroom 3B, and they were found on floor 3. Ethan and Zaina were found on the 2nd floor, and they were found over in bedroom 1A. So I'm going to go ahead and go back down. So this is the way that I think that they came in. And I'm sorry, they weren't in bedroom 1A. They were in bedroom 2B. So sorry about that. So if we go back to the front door, I believe he came in this front door here. He proceeded to go up the flight of stairs up to the 2nd floor. He went straight into bedroom 2B. That's where he encountered Ethan and Zaina. And then he came back out of the bedroom. He went through the living room to the hallway here, up the stairs, past room 1A, to the 3rd floor, and that's where he encountered the girls. I believe he came back out of the room, went down the 1st floor, went down to, the 2nd floor. I'm sorry, the 2nd floor, and then down to the 1st floor, all the way to the bottom floor, and then left out the same door. I hope that makes sense for you guys. I wanted to try to, make it make sense a little bit easier. Hopefully that does. But if you guys have any questions over it, drop it in the comments below, and I will always make another video on this if I need to, or I can always bring it up in tonight in the live. So I also wanted to show you the Moscow police. They did Captain Roger Lanier reflects on the last month and where the investigation is going to be heading. So I'm going to go ahead and play this for you, and we'll talk about it at The end.
About the first time you heard about what happened. How did you react? What were your first steps?
This is as loud as it goes, too. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, well, it was hard. I got called at home. It was on a Sunday afternoon, and it took me a second. I really had to think about what I had just heard. 4 murders in Moscow, Idaho is so out of character. And at the time, they were fairly certain it was college students and it was near the campus, and that area is kind of a campus community. So once I got over the initial shock, I knew that I was coming to the station. So I drove in, and everybody just kind of fell into a role. That was all hands on deck moment. Sunday afternoon, it became fairly apparent when I got to the scene that we were going to need resources outside of just what the Moscow Police Department could provide. And we have a very, very good working relationship with the Idaho State Police. We knew what their capabilities were, and so that was the first call that we made to have their investigative team come up and help us process the scene. The scene wasn't chaos, the neighborhood, but it was very, very somber. Like I said, that is a community of college students that live over there. Many of them, through word of mouth, knew what had happened. They were standing outside. There was a lot of crying. There were friends trying to find out who exactly was inside the house. Some family members that arrived on scene. It was incredibly hard for the community, but it was also really, really hard on our officers, some of whom were very young, and that was the first real major crime scene that they had encountered. So emotionally, it was a very, very draining day. But resources came, and then the first about 3 days was just an adjustment, trying to get resources in place and then get a system that worked for everybody. The FBI got involved almost immediately, and the FBI, the Idaho State Police, and the Moscow Police Department all have a little bit different way of doing things, and that's okay. But when you're working collectively, you have to put a system in place that starts information flowing, and you can handle it in a logical manner. So, fortunately, the FBI had some experience in those areas, and they were very, very good at helping us set up their virtual command post. And then once everything was in place, it became a very, very systematic method of processing the information that was coming in.
Can you sum up the last month in terms of the investigation?
Yeah, a lot of emotional highs and lows, but an incredible amount of teamwork. The general public doesn't have any idea the scope of this investigation, the number of people that are involved, not just here in Moscow, but investigative and interview teams in the northern part of Idaho, the southern part of Idaho, the eastern part of Idaho, resources from the Salt Lake City FBI office, Coeur d'Alene FBI office, analysts back in Virginia, and the number of people that have flown here or driven here from great distances to just lend their specialty to this investigation. We have the FBI's command post in our parking lot, and we've hooked them up to Wi-Fi, and everything that they would normally do down in Salt Lake City, they're doing right here in our parking lot. So the team effort has been amazing. It's been overwhelming at times, but there are so many people with so much expertise. Somebody always steps up and takes the role that needs to be filled.
What role has speculation, rumors, and the conversations on social media played in the investigation?
Yeah, that has been by far the most frustrating part of this. We've always closely guarded the information that we've discovered at the scene and our investigative information, because we want to protect the integrity of this investigation. And just look at social media and the rumors that fly out there. A small piece of information that has speculation added to it just takes its own life on the internet and starts rumors. And then we find ourselves not only tracking those rumors down and trying to quell them, but also we see our tips that come in are geared more toward the rumor, not the facts that have been put out. And the really unfortunate part of it is the effect that it's had on the victims' families, on the college students and friends of the victims, some of whom have had death threats and constant harassment by various media outlets. So it's been devastating in some ways. In many ways, it just re-victimizes folks who have already suffered this terrible trauma.
What is next for this investigation?
Well, this investigation is not cold. We get tips every day that are viable. We get dozens and dozens of tips. We sort through them, we prioritize them, and for sure, some of them are not good tips. They're not even relevant to the case. But every single day, we get a good amount of viable tips, and those tips help us do everything from clear people who maybe there was some speculation about, to further some of the theories that we're working on. So the next is just to continue on what we're doing, eliminate the information that we know is not going to be relevant to the investigation, and take all the new information. And eventually, and we see this coming, eventually we're going to narrow in on exactly what happened and who did it.
Okay, so that's all that they had to really say. Nothing really new, but I did want to show that to you. You know, they say that the case isn't cold, which sorry about that. I didn't really think that it was. So it's not a cold case. I don't believe that. And that's a very big stretch when people say that. It's only a month old. You have to realize this is a small police agency. I know they have the FBI backing them and other agencies backing them, but ultimately it's their job and their responsibility to catch the person that did this. And I feel like they are doing a pretty good job with that, given the fact that this is such a huge case. They haven't had a murder in 6 or 7 years there. I feel like they've really been sprung into the spotlight, especially with all of the people that are on social media right now. And you guys have seen it just on my channel alone. We've talked about, other creators and what they have done. And, by creating false narratives and all these false news reports and things like that, it just doesn't help anybody. And it really affects the victims and the victims' families. And it can really, really hurt an investigation. If these creators are out there, and people are out there saying that a certain person did this or that can really hurt that person, especially if that person is found to be not involved. And especially if they've already been cleared in a case. I'm not saying in this one in particular, but I'm just saying in general. So that's all I have for you guys for today. Please like, share, comment, all that good stuff. Subscribe, and I will see you guys all in my next video. And I will see you guys all this evening for the live. Drop in the comments below if you guys are able to make it tonight. And I will see you guys all this evening. Bye, guys.